So 2.76 would be right here-ish, open circle, and then it ends at the 3.5, 2.76, close, and same price in between those two numbers. So 3 different price values shown on that graph. And then down here, it basically just says describe what each piece means in terms of the context provided. So just summarize it. It just says basically above 0 up to 1.5, it costs 2.75. Above 1.5 up to 2, it costs 2.03. Above 2.76 up to 3.5, it costs 2.76. That's all you really need to say. Questions? And there's even like an example on the front of this page if you want to read what they said to describe it in the terms provided. Just explain what's going on. All right, any others from either review? It could be the puzzle piece, it could be Kaylee.
Can you do the one where it's like use function notation to write the rule that defines
On the paper?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, yeah, I don't know if we did this one or not, but we filled out the table, right? This one was about how much sugar is remaining. So they started with 60 kilograms. Each week they used 5 kilograms. So at 0 weeks, they have how many kilograms total remaining? 60. After 1 week, how much do they have? 65. So you could keep that pattern going, or you can figure out, well, if 4 weeks have passed, how much did I use of sugar? So I should hear more than just Kaylin. I just asked a simple question. 4 weeks, how much sugar was used? If they used 5 kilograms per week, they used 20. But it's not asking how much did they use, they ask how much is remaining. So you figure out how much they used and you subtract that from the starting. So 60 minus 2 or minus 20 is 40 remaining. That's how we're getting that. Same with 8 weeks. How much did they use at 8 weeks? 40. They used 40. So subtract that from your starting amount, you have 20 remaining. So if we summarize what we just did, we're taking the weeks times 5, right? That's how much they use a week, and subtracting it from 60. So take that expression, and when it says use function notation, just make sure you have f of x or something equivalent. This one, they didn't use x, they used w. So I made it f of w, but I should be able to plug in anything for the week and get an output that makes sense for this. That makes sense? Okay. So function notation just has to have f of x or something. All right, anything from either review? Number 4 on the puzzle piece. I'll make sure there's no grades. Okay, so number 4. The function p of x equals 20 plus 2x, and if you haven't done the puzzle piece yet, maybe consider opening it and making sure you have these answers down and that you understand it. But 20x plus 2x gives the cost C for entering a small theme park based off of the number of tickets x. The slope is what? I'll write it bigger in case you don't have it up right now. 2. And how do you know it's 2?
Because if you write it to y equals or the slope, and the slope goes before the x.
So in y equals mx plus b, that slope intercept form, the slope is m, and it's always in front of the x. So even though they wrote the 20 first, is that in front of the x? No. So that's not the slope. What is it? The 20.
The y-intercept.
The y-intercept. So the y-intercept, which is usually shown by b, is always a single number if you're looking at something that's a linear function. So the slope we said is 2 out of the x. But in this situation, it means what? That every ticket costs $20, every extra ticket costs $2 more, or every ticket costs $22. Well, if the slope is 2, yeah, because if the slope is 2, that's my rate of change, right? And that was the only option that even had the 2 in there, so that's what makes sense to me. If we read it again, is the cost for entering a small theme park based off the number of tickets X. So X is tickets 2 times the ticket. At least that's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's not. What? Is the cost be for entering a small theme park based off the number of tickets X? We'll table that one. We will see. Okay, now the y-intercept we said is what?
2 or 20.
Okay, which means what?
That's it, when the number of tickets is, the cost is 20.
That's what I'm thinking.
Good job, Mike. But if you have 0 tickets, how is it $20?
Like
that's
admission. I don't know. So your y-intercept is usually some sort of starting amount or flat fee. So if this gives me the cost for entering a small theme park based off the number of tickets, that sounds like an admission price. So when the number of tickets is 0, the cost is 20. When the cost is 0, you need 20 tickets. That doesn't make sense. And when the number of tickets is 20 or more, each cost or more each month $2. We'll see. I'll look at this. So how much will the theme park cost for 8 tickets?
36.
And how are you figuring that out?
Plus 8 into the 10.
Yeah, the one thing we know for sure is that X is number of tickets. So 20 plus 2 times 8 is what? Yes, 36. You multiply before you add. So there we go. And how many tickets can be purchased for $44? Where would we plug in the 44?
At the
So it should replace the cost portion. So 44 equals 20 plus 2x, and then solve for x, because x is the number of tickets. Well, let's see, we subtract 20 from each side first. We get 24 equals 2x, opposite multiplying 2 is 20. And yes, x would be 12. Now let me check if we interpreted the other stuff, because I was, I'm not. doubting myself. So let's see. I'm gonna freeze it, so 1 second.
Mike, you have to sit down. You better-
So this was the answer for number 4. We were right. It's recording, just so y'all know. Okay. So this one is number 8 on the review in Illuminate. So like a lengthy problem, but there's a few steps whenever you're solving multi-step equation. You always do this first if it's there. What do?
Pinball.
Distribute is the correct answer. So if you can distribute, you won't distribute in every problem, but if it's set up to where you can, you do that first. So distributing is where you take the outside number
And multiply by the parentheses.
but multiply it by the inside number. So we'll actually have to distribute twice. When I distribute over here, also make sure you keep the sign. Make sure you keep the sign that's in front of each term. So it's a -5 times both of those numbers. So it's -5 times x,
-5x.
and -5 times 2,
-10.
Okay, gonna bring down some stuff here in a little bit. I have an 18 over here and need to sign. And then we have to distribute again. What's 4 times -3?
-12.
And 4 times -2x.
-8x.
Good, and then bring down that plus 21. So that's step 1, distribute. Step 2 is to,
No variable to multiply.
before that, we do
Or
some
combine like.
combine like terms.
Right.
So then on the left side, do I have any like terms that need to be combined?
Yeah.
It's actually worse.
So any single numbers can always be combined. What's 18 minus 10?
8.
Good, and always keep the sign that's in front of each term. That's why I said 18 minus 10, so 8. And then bring down that -5x. On the right side, do I have any like terms to combine?
-12 and positive 21.
So what's -12 plus 21?
9.
A positive 9. And then -8x. Now the next step would be to move variable to one side.
No, I
Does it matter what side you move it to?
No.
Which one do you want to move?
-5.
How do you move it?
Plus 5.
And whatever you do on one side of the equal sign,
Reach the other.
notice I'm lining it up with this like term. On the right side, 9 doesn't have a like term. What's -8x plus 5x?
They're negative.
No.
Or negative. Negative. 3.
-3x is correct.
Oh. I did my math wrong.
Because, yeah, -8 plus 5 is -3. Number 4, you would, or step 4, you would
Isolate.
now isolate the variable. Let's start with what is farther. So yes, to cancel the 9, you subtract it. Whatever you do on one side.
You do the other.
Good, 8 minus 9 is,
-1.
on the right side, I have -3x, opposite of multiplying -3 is good. And do that to both sides. What happens when I have a negative divided by a negative? Becomes positive. So I have a positive 1/3 equal to x. And it says it wants the answer in fraction form, so put 1 fraction bar or slash. So slash like on your keyboard, 3. It does not want a decimal. I have to check your packet, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. If you have any other questions at all, you can always email me. Do use it as a guide.